Whenever we're looking for interesting new tools, the AI Agent Store is always, well, it's a good place to start.
Definitely. We keep an eye on it. And recently, something popped up that seemed pretty relevant for anyone working with AI and, needing web data. Crawl4AI.
Crawl4AI, right? That's
Yeah,
the one. It caught our eye, too. Seemed like it was aiming to sort of simplify getting data off the web for AI projects.
exactly. Let's maybe unpack that a bit. What is it supposed to do?
Okay, so the page describes it as open source and, importantly, LLM friendly. A web crawler and scraper. What's the core idea there, the LLM friendly part?
Well, think about getting data from websites. Usually you just grab text, right? Maybe some
Yeah,
tables.
and then you have to clean it all up.
Precisely. The LLM-friendly bit here means it's designed to output that data in formats that large language models can use more directly. Things like JSON or Markdown.
Ah, okay. So it structures the data as it scrapes it. Ready for AI.
That's the goal. It prepares the data, cutting down on that manual prep work you just mentioned. It's not just about grabbing raw stuff. It's about making it usable for AI tasks, like training models or feeding into an agent.
So it's trying to do some of that data engineering heavy lifting.
You could say that, and it's got some features to back that up, like asynchronous crawling.
Meaning it hits multiple pages at the same time. Faster collection.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of going one by one, it can work in parallel. That can drastically shorten the time needed if you're trying to gather, a large data set.
Okay, that makes sense. What else makes it stand out?
It also mentions using more advanced extraction methods. It can even leverage LLMs during the extraction process.
How would that work? Using an LLM to scrape.
Yeah, imagine you need not just the text of reviews, but maybe the specific product features mentioned and the sentiment attached. An LLM could potentially help identify and structure that kind of nuanced information directly from the page.
Interesting. That goes beyond simple CSS selectors or XPath.
Definitely. And it tackles dynamic content, too.
Ah, the classic web scraping problem, pages that change with JavaScript.
Right. It apparently has ways to handle that, like using browser controls, basically, acting more like a real user interacting with the page, plus options for proxies and stealth modes to avoid getting blocked.
So it's built for the messiness of the modern web, not just static HTML pages.
Seems like it. It's trying to be pretty robust.
The page mentioned it's especially good for certain professions. Data scientists, AI researchers, developers, automation engineers.
Yeah, that tracks. Those are exactly the folks who often need large amounts of structured web data.
For training models, right.
Yeah.
Or maybe feeding real-time data into apps.
Exactly. Or just automating research, pulling competitor pricing, market trends, that kind of thing. If you need web data efficiently and reliably, and you need it formatted well, it seems targeted at you.
It gives itself an autonomy level of 86%. What should we read into that number?
Well, it's a rating from the site, but 86% suggests it's designed to handle a lot of the process on its own once you set it up.
So less hand-holding needed.
Probably. Things like being open source so you can tweak it, the parallel crawling we mentioned, automatic retries if a page fails. It all points towards a tool that aims to run fairly independently for many tasks. And getting that AI-ready output format contributes too.
Can you give us a couple of concrete use cases? Like how would someone actually use this?
Sure. Imagine you're building an AI model to understand, say, financial news sentiment. You could use Crawl4AI to automatically pull articles from various financial news sites daily.
Okay.
Or maybe a developer is building a tool to monitor job postings across different platforms. Crawl4AI could automate grabbing those postings, extracting the key details like role, location, salary if available.
So it automates the data collection part of the pipeline.
That's the idea. Gets you the raw material structured nicely.
What about community feedback? Did the page mention what users are saying?
Yeah.
Maybe on places like Reddit?
It did mention community opinions in Reddit. The specific points highlighted were positive that Crawl4AI helps automate crawling with AI integration, boosting accuracy and efficiency.
Okay, so users are seeing that AI integration benefit.
Yeah, and also its ability to handle continuous data collection. Like if you need to keep scraping a site for updates, that seemed to be appreciated.
And the practical side, cost.
Big plus here.
Yeah.
It's listed as free.
Free and open source.
Yep. That lowers the barrier to entry significantly. Developers can dive into the code, customize it, contribute back if they want. That's always appealing.
It also had a popularity score, 78%, I think.
Yeah, 78%. That suggests it's, got some decent traction. It's not some obscure thing nobody's using. There's likely a community around it, maybe some support to be found.
And the industry's listed. Software development, research, data analysis line up perfectly with the professions you mentioned earlier.
Makes sense. It reinforces who this tool is built for.
The page also pointed to a video and a guide about using it with DeepSeek.
Right. Having a video helps you see it in action, understand the workflow, and a practical guide, especially mentioning a free method, is always useful for getting started.
Okay, so boiling it all down, what's the main takeaway on Crawl4AI?
I'd say it looks like a powerful, flexible, and importantly, free open source tool aimed squarely at making web scraping for AI applications easier and more effective.
Yeah, the focus on LLM-ready output and handling dynamic sites seems key.
Definitely. If you're in that space, AI development, data science, and need web data, it seems worth a serious look.
Sounds like it. And you can find Crawl4AI and other tools we discuss over at AIagentstore.ai.
Right. And, thinking about it, as AI gets more and more intertwined with real-time web data, tools like this become really fundamental infrastructure. It makes you wonder what kind of completely new AI capabilities might open up when getting this data becomes almost trivial.
That's a really interesting thought. What has happened next? Anyway, thanks for exploring this one with us.
My pleasure.
And thanks to all of you for listening. If you found this useful, we'd really appreciate it if you could leave us a rating on your podcast platform. It helps others find the show.